So in this video we'll be looking at the bistable mode of operation of our 555 IC or the 555 timer. Okay, so if you want to set the 555 timer into bistable mode, okay, we need some extra hardware. Okay, so the extra hardware is nothing but two external resistors R1 and R2 like being shown here, and two external switch buttons S1 and S2. Okay, so these are also called push buttons. Okay, so the behavior of the push button is similar to your calling bell switches. Okay, so until you press that calling bell, the bell comes out, isn't it? The same thing happens here until you put some force over here. Okay, so the switch is closed and the calling bell rings. Okay, the moment you take your finger off the switch, what happens? The bell stops ringing. Okay, the same thing happens here. The moment you stop pushing this button over here, it comes out, it comes up, and thereby it leaves the open circuit over here. Okay, so the connection is no more present. So that is how a push button or a push switch actually works. Okay, so we actually see it in our daily life. I gave the example of the calling bell switch. It is nothing but a push switch or a push button switch. Okay, right. So here let us look at the circuit, the bistable mode of operation. Okay, so the trigger pin. Okay, so my trigger pin over here is nothing but pin number 2 of IC 555. Okay, is connected to VCC. Okay, is connected to VCC via this resistance R2. Similarly, my reset pin, that is pin number 4, is connected to again VCC via R1. Okay, so if these two switches are open, that is there is no contact here. Okay, so pin number 4 will be at VCC. Similarly, pin number 2 also will be at VCC. Okay, right. Now there are two inputs here, like you see, that play a major role in the output of IC 555 in the bistable mode of operation. One is the trigger input, the other is the reset input. Okay, so these two inputs now control the IC 555 timer. Okay, right. Now let us try to understand what is happening here. Okay, so this is pin number 8 VCC and pin number 1 ground. Okay, so this is pin number 5 control voltage. This pin we won't be using in bistable mode, and similarly we won't be using the pin number 7, that is the discharge pin in bistable mode. Okay, right. So you have made your connections in this fashion. Now let us see what is going on. Okay, so we have seen in the previous video that this acts as a potential divider, and thus this node gets 2/3 VCC, and this node actually goes to 1/3 VCC. We have seen how that potential divider works in the previous video, so you must be well aware now that this node will be at 1/3 VCC and this node is at 2/3 VCC, the potential. Okay, so VCC is actually 15 volts. This will be at 10 volts, and this node will be at this node will be at 10 volts, and this node will be at 5 volts respectively. Okay, right. So so this is how you have made your connections and you have switched on. Okay, suppose you have switched on, that is you have powered up the IC 555 using VCC. Okay, now what happens? Let us try to understand what happens now. Okay, so now this pin VN of this first comparator is at 10 volts. Okay, so this is at 10 volts, and this VP of the second comparator is at 5 volts. We know the potential divider operation. Okay, now you have switched on the circuit, but these switches are open. Okay, these switches are open. So when this switch S2 is open, so R2, okay, this pin 2, that is the trigger pin via this R2 is connected to VCC. Okay, so this pin 2 is now at VCC. VCC is nothing but 15 volts. Okay, so what is happening to this comparator, the bottom comparator? What is happening to the bottom comparator? VP is actually less than VN, of course, right? This 5 is always less than 15. When VP is less than VN, Vout is equal to 0. So the output of the bottom comparator is 0. Okay, very good. Okay, similarly, what is happening here? This pin number 6 is left open. There is no connection. Okay, that is nothing but this is VP of the top comparator. Okay, but Vn of the bottom comparator is connected to 10 volts. Okay, so if you leave the terminal open here, okay, so what this pin might see is so it might catch some electromagnetic radiation that may be present in the room. Okay, so there is your cell signal, there is your FM signal going on, there is your TV signal in your room, there is your Wi-Fi signal. Okay, so from that electromagnetic radiation, this might pick some millivolts voltage, very small voltages it might pick. Okay, but this Vn is at solid 10 volts. So here also what happens, Vp will be less than equal to Vn. Okay, less than Vn, sorry, not less than equal to. So here also Vp is less than Vn. When Vp is less than Vn, what do we know? We know that the output of the comparator is equal to 0. Now what are the inputs to the SR flip-flop? The inputs to the SR flip-flop are nothing but 0 and 0. When it is in 0 and 0, it continues to remain in the previous state. For suppose let the previous state be equal to 0, so it will continue to remain in 0. Okay, so when Q is 0, Q bar is 1. We know that the output stage inverts it, so output is nothing but inversion of Q bar, that is inversion of 1, that is nothing but 0. Okay, so when you start up the circuit, what is happening? S1 and S2 both are open. Okay, right here I forgot one more thing. See this reset, what is happening to the reset? The reset pin, that is pin 4 of the IC is through this R1 is connected to VCC. If this is open, what is happening if the switch is open? So this pin 4 is connected to VCC. VCC is nothing but 1. We have seen in the previous video. Okay, when reset is equal to 1, it acts as an SR latch. Okay, so that is it depends on S is equal, what happens when S is 0, R is 0, 0 0 0 1 1 0 1 1, you know the routine. Okay, we have seen in the previous video also that when reset is equal to 0, output is equal to 0, and it is not at all dependent on S and R output, S and R inputs. Okay, right. So in this case, what is happening to VC, what is happening to the reset pin when S1 is open? Okay, so when S1 is open, the reset pin is seeing VCC through this R1. Okay, the reset pin is seeing VCC through this R1, and 1 appears over here. Okay, when reset is 1, it acts as an SR latch, and when it is in SR latch and S and R inputs are 0 0, we know that it continues to remain in its previous state. Okay, so previously if before anything is switched on, okay, we know that all the outputs will be 0 of any digital system, so it will continue remaining in 0. Okay, now let us track the inputs over here. Okay, let us track the inputs over here. Like I told you, there are 3 major inputs or 3 major pins that we need to track. That is, one is the trigger pin that we need to track, one is the reset pin. These two are acting as our inputs, and the other thing is of course my output. Okay, so at time t is equal to 0, that is when power is turned on, what is trigger pin seeing? Trigger pin is seeing VCC, that is nothing but 1. Okay, trigger pin is seeing 1. Okay, suppose this is 1, this is 0, this is 1, this is 0. Okay, so at time t is equal to 0, when you powered this on, the reset pin is also 1, isn't it? The reset pin is also 1, so the reset is also seeing 1. Okay, similarly, what is happening because of this comparator operation? Okay, what is happening to the output? Output is actually 0. Okay, so output is actually 0 over here. Okay, now let us try to, there are some switches. Okay, we feel like clicking those switches, right? Okay, now let us try and click those switches and see what is happening. Let me erase all this. Okay, let me erase all that. Good, we are good to go. Okay, yeah, right, let me take green. Okay, suppose I close this S2 now. Okay, I am closing S2, I am pushing this S2 switch. Okay, so I am closing this, so there is a connection now. So what is trigger becoming? What is trigger now connected to when I push this button? When I push this button, trigger, the pin 2 is now connected to ground. Ground is nothing but 0 volts. Okay, so at some time period t is equal to 1 or something. Okay, what am I making the trigger? I am making trigger equal to 0. Okay, I am making my trigger equal to 0. Okay, so that is nothing but what is happening over here, what is impact happening over here. Now Vn, okay, so Vn of this thing is at 0 volts. We know that this is at 1/3 VCC, that is nothing but 5 volts. Okay, and we know that this is at 2/3 VCC, that is 10 volts, and this is few millivolts, some radiation that it might catch, and we have seen in the previous discussion that it might catch few millivolts. Okay, but what is happening over here? Here the top comparator Vp is less than Vn, that is nothing but the output is of this comparator is 0, but here see Vp is greater than Vn. Okay, when Vp is greater than Vn, the output of this comparator is high. Okay, when S is high, S is nothing but set. When S is high, output is also high. That means the Q bar is 0, and I have shown and we have discussed this earlier. Okay, so this output stage actually inverts the Q bar, that is nothing but output now becomes output rather becomes 1 now. Okay, so what does the output become now? The output now becomes 1. Okay, the output now becomes 1. Okay, right. Now remember, this is a push button switch. Okay, you cannot hold on the push button switch for days together, right? After 1 or 2 seconds you actually remove the force on the switch. It is similar to your calling bell. You give the calling bell for maybe 2 seconds or 3 seconds, after which you remove the force on the switch. Okay, see, that is what happens here also. Now I'll remove the force on the push button. So what happens here? There is no connection. See, it returns to its normal mode. Okay, so that is, there is no connection over here. Now let us see what is going on. Okay, so let me draw. Okay, so I have pushed on the switch button, that is S2, push button S2, and I have switched it on only for few moments. Okay, so let this few moments be this thing. After this time, what did I do to S2? I removed the force on S2, so there is no connection over here. So what does trigger become now? So what does trigger become once I open it? Okay, once I open it, what does trigger become? The trigger is now again connected to VCC via R2. There is no ground connection here anymore. So the trigger is now seeing what? The trigger is now seeing VCC. Okay, so this Vn is now at VCC, that is nothing but 15 volts, and we know this is 1/3 VCC, which is 5 volts. Okay, so this is at 10 volts, which is 2/3 VCC, and this is few millivolts like we discussed. So what is happening to the top comparator? Vp is less than Vn. Okay, so this becomes 0. So what is happening here? Vp is 5 volts. Okay, and Vn is 15 volts. So Vp is less than Vn. So what happens? This becomes 0 0. And when 0 0 go as input to this SR latch, what happens? It continues to remember the previous state. Okay, so what happens to the output? Okay, so you have now pushed the trigger. Okay, that is, you made the trigger pin 0, but after 1 or 2 seconds you removed it. Okay, and then the trigger is still, once you remove the force on this switch, what happens? The trigger is is connected to VCC or nothing but 1. Okay, so the trigger is at 1 or VCC. Okay, but what happens? Okay, once you push the switch, we have seen that the output goes 1. Okay, the one we have previously seen, but because the comparator outputs are 0 0 now, and how does an SR latch behave when its inputs are 0 0? It continues to remember its previous state. But what is its previous state here? Its previous stage is 1. Okay, so it continues to remain 1. Okay, so it continues to remain in 1. Okay, it continues to remain in 1. Okay, so even though you have removed your even though you have pressed the switch S2 and removed the force, that is, the switch is not closed anymore. Okay, so the output still remains high. Okay, the output still remains high. Why? Because the input to SR latch is 0 0, and 0 0, we know that it is nothing but the memory state, and in the memory state we know that it acts as it remembers the previous output. In this case it happens to be 1. Okay, And remember, this is a bistable multivibrator. So here we have seen, so far we have seen how to take it to stable state 1. Okay, but how do we bring it back to 0? Okay, so don't forget there is another input. Okay, don't forget that there is another input, reset. Okay, right, now this reset pin is directly connected to VCC, so this is continuing to be 1. Okay, for suppose at this particular time interval I close this switch S1. Okay, I close this switch S1. So what happens when I close this switch? This reset is now 0, and when reset is 0, the Q is 0 and is not dependent on SR. Okay, so when reset is equal to 0, okay, the Q is in fact 0 and it doesn't have a dependency on these two values. This SR latch doesn't now care for these two SR inputs. When reset becomes 0, the output is 0. When output is 0, Q bar is 1, and we know that output stage actually inverts this input. So 1 inverted, when inverted it becomes 0. Okay, so when you make reset equal to 0 and press it for a while and remove it, okay, so the output also goes to 0. Okay, and continues to be in 0. Okay, the same logic applies. Now once you open the switch, that is you make reset high after making it 0, once you remove the force over here, okay, some physical force, that reset pin, now what it sees a high. Okay, when it sees a high, when reset is equal to 1, it acts as an SR latch, and it acts as an SR latch. But what are the inputs to the SR latch here? The input to the SR latch is nothing but 0 0. Okay, so when it is 0 0, it continues in its previous state, and its previous state is 0, so it continues to be in 0. Okay, so when you push the switch at trigger, okay, so the output becomes 1. Okay, in bistable mode. In summary, when S2 is pressed or when trigger is made 0, okay, output becomes high. Okay, when reset is made 0, okay, output becomes low. Okay, so this is how IC 555 is configured to be in bistable mode of operation. So there are two stable outputs. Okay, sorry, output is 0. There are two stable outputs, one is 1 and the other is 0. So when you press the switch S2, or that is when you make the trigger pin grounded, okay, that is what is happening here. When you press the switch S2, this trigger pin is not connected to VCC anymore, but it is rather connected to ground. Okay, so the output is 1 in that case. When reset pin is connected to 0, that is when you press switch S1, reset is now connected to 0. When reset is 0, we have seen that output Q is equal to 0. Okay, so the output is equal to 0 unless you apply an external, some other external trigger. Okay, so it continues to be in the same state. So it has two stable states, one is stable state 1, the other is stable state 0. If you want to go to stable state 1, you have to press S2. If you want to go to stable state 0, you have to press S1. Okay, so that is how you configure your IC 555 timer to work in the bistable mode of operation. Okay, thank you.